Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of Krista Knits. You can follow me on Instagram at Ravelry at Krista Knits, and if you love cozy mysteries, follow me at the Crafty Cozy Mystery Chat. My friend Amanda of Itty Bitty Delights. I'll have in the down bar when I start talking about cozy mysteries, so you can forward that if you don't want any of the knitting content. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you know when new content comes out on this channel. I have been obsessed with blankets lately. It has been like all I want to knit on. I'm crazy. I have finished one blanket. It's massive. I am happy with the finished product, but actually knitting it, not so happy. So this is my velvet throw. Basically what I did was, I think I cast on 42 stitches. I slipped the first stitch, knit the row, slip the first stitch on the next row, purl. And I just kept doing that to get this. And when I changed colors, I just did two colors for the last row, the first color of the main one. And then I have the contrasting color. I did the same thing up here. When I hooked the main one, I did one, and then I did two of the contrasting color. And I just kept doing that throughout this. I am not crazy about this yarn. I could see why it was on clearance at Joann's. I saw it. I fell so in love with the color, especially this one, because it was just... And I really wish I would have been able to get another navy. So this is like purple, navy, gray, and blush in the, what is this called? Knit and crochet braid. It's like a velvet rope. It is horrible to work with. It's beautiful. It's like a weighted blanket. Then look at that. See right there? It'll just start doing that ever so often. You have no control over it. You can't fix it. It's physically impossible. And they said to use a size 19, 15 millimeter. When I was knitting that, it was way too tight. Like, my hands were killing me. So then I ended up buying one of these Luca 36-inch fixed circulars, 35 US 19 millimeters. I mean, this thing is massive. Now that I look back, I shouldn't have gone the 36-inch. I should have gone a 40-inch one if they had it. Maybe a 42. Because sliding these was a mother. That's all I gotta say. I liked that the cord on this needle was thicker. I did like that. But the material that this is horrible. I don't know if with regular yarn, if it sticks, but with the velvet, it was sticking. And I would be like, pushing and pushing it, trying to get on there. I was so scared of breaking this needle. I was not going to buy another one of these, let me tell you. These things were expensive, and I'm probably never going to use this again. So I was not happy about that, but it just kept getting stuck on there. It was just aggravating as anything. The blanket was very heavy to knit. And the other thing I don't like about it was, as I said, like when you cut it, it would fuzz all over the place. And then the ends split because I guess it's like multiple velvet ropes on there. And I kept some of the ends of it because it was long ends because I couldn't get the whole row. And I think I'm going to rip it apart, do magic knot, maybe make a pumpkin out of it. I don't know. All right. But then look, this is what it looks like after I sewn in the ends. Like I feel like it's going to come out. In fact, I think it is coming out already. My son took it. I got really upset about this. This side, it's already came out. Like, I don't know what to do about this. So, I'm going to try sewing it in again. I might actually get thread that's in this color and see if I can sew it. That's the only thing I can think of to keep the ends in so it doesn't fall apart. And I did do it. I have learned from when I crocheted a blanket that I just don't go one way. After I put the yarn one way, then I'll turn and I'll go another way when I sew things in. So I did do that with this as well. But again, it's so thick and chunky, you couldn't do too many stitches with it. So, and I used a crochet hook in order to sew it. I think it was a size N. So like, look, they're coming out. It's just, and I've only had it for one day. So I don't know what I'm going to do about the ends. This might be a blanket that you look at and you don't touch. It does look very nice on the back of the couch. Oh my God, this thing's so heavy. It's ridiculous how heavy it is. It's massive. Can you see the colors? And I don't know if I said this, but I do wish they had two navies instead of the blush. So I think that these three colors looked really good together. I mean, the blush looks good, but I'm just not crazy about it, which is weird because I'm a pink person. But I'm happy with how it looks. I'm glad I did it. I am glad, very glad that the yarn is gone because it took up a lot of room. I mean, these things were like cakes like that. It was not one of my favorite knits, people. Not one of my favorite knits at all. But this one, I do enjoy knitting. Yes, I'm on a complete blanket kick. That's all I want to knit. I hope I didn't take, yes, I am. No, I didn't. Okay, good. So these are, let me get the yarn out. This is Cover Story. Yes, I have more of these. And the colorway for, I think this is Emery. I don't see on my notes, but this is the Emery colorway. I got 2 skeins of this. I am making a massive, massive blanket. So this is the blanket. I cast on 120 something stitches, I think. I have all my project notes, all my projects linked into my Ravelry pages down below, so you can look at that. This is where I was the last time I showed this. And this is how much I knit. I think around here is when I changed skeins. So this is going to be massive. It's going to be so nice and warm. And I was just going to knit the one blanket. I did have another skein that I knit recently. And I cast on too many stitches this way. So it's not long. It's very wide. And we've been using it opposite way. So the stitches are going this way instead of going up and down. And we've been using it, and then my youngest son loves my blankets, like obsessive. I will fight you for this blanket. I will knock you out. And he got into a rip-roaring fight with my son. He just came in the room, ripped it apart from him. He's like, mine, and just knocked him down. I was like, oh my God. So I was like, definitely gotta knit more of these blankets. So this is gonna be the one I'm leaving in the den. And then for Justin, he decided a rainbow colorway, and it is going to be, where are you? Does not say the colorway on here. Yes, it does not say it. Oh, wait, here it is. Alchemy. So this is Alchemy. It's very rainbow. I got 2 of these. And then my older son, Nikki, wanted this, which I was in shock. This is called Lincoln. It looks like Minecraft, which is kind of funny because Justin's the one that's obsessed with Minecraft. Nikki really likes Roblox. But he does like green, so maybe that's why he picked this one out. I don't know. I'm not crazy about the colorway, honestly. I kept saying, are you sure you want this one? When it came in, I was like, it looked more lime, like not lime green, but it looked like a brighter Minecraft green. Like this is very yellowy lime. The other one looked more like a greenish lime, like this one when it was in the picture on the internet. And I liked that. When I got this, I was like, I don't know. But that's what he wants. And then I also want to knit one for my husband in grays. So I'm going to be knitting these blankets a lot. And I do love knitting them. I used a size, I think it was a size 11 they said to use with this yarn. I'm using a size US 13 with it. And how many millimeters is that? There it is. It's a 9 millimeter I'm using with it. So I'm going to see how that goes. I think that's a good, when it's done, I'm going to put it on my son's bed. He has a full-size bed. See if it fits the whole full size. If not, I might add more stitches in. Again, I think it's 126 maybe, something like that. Between 120 to 140 I cast on for this. I got confused. This one was only 42, I remember. Because I actually took it apart. So I had 40 and then I went to 42. Because I had a lot of yarn left over. I was like, I just want to use this yarn up because I'm not going to use it for anything else. And I'm done. Get rid of that. I do like knitting this. Again, it hurts my hands a little bit because it's such thick needles. But they flow very nicely on the needle. I highly recommend it. It is so warm to knit with. Let me tell you, when I'm sitting there knitting with it, I don't need a blanket. That's my blanket. I'm very happy with it. So I can't wait for it to be done because it is starting to get cold here in New York. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, and I am wearing my dark water sweater. I finished it. Sorry, I forgot to talk about that. It is by Jennifer Stainglass. It's Volanvine Footsie base in Courtesan. And Deep Calm is this beautiful green. I definitely want to get a whole sweater just in this green because it's gorgeous. The only thing I have to say about this, it fits me perfectly except for where the color work is, because on the bottom it's just very like sporadic, the green. And I think the floats were too tight on this one area because the whole thing is big on me. I went up to a size 6 when the rest of it was size 5. And it's fine. It's just right there. It's bothering me. It keeps getting, it's not tight, but you could feel that it's tight from the floats. You know, so I can still put my hand in there, but it's just you feel the tightness of the actual yarn compared to the rest of the yarn. So I pulled it up like this so it keeps flying up so it doesn't bother me as much, and it works. So that's what we're doing with this. But I definitely want to knit more of these fingerly weight sweaters. It is so comfortable. I've only knit cardigans before this, I think. Maybe 1 or 2 other ones, and I didn't understand positive ease, so they were really tight on me. So this is big on me. Again, maybe the color work, I would actually stay with the 5 and go down, because I feel like this is a little too big up here. But again, it might just be the very float, like on the bottom here too. It might just be pulling, but it doesn't pull as much as on the sleeve. The sleeve, I feel it pulling a lot more. So it keeps moving around. But I really love the weight of it. It's so nice. So I think you can see a lot more sweaters being knit by me lately. And I have cast on, where is it? Seasons cardigan. So the Seasons cardigan is by Haley Orts. Basically the reason why I cast this on, I was watching Crazy Sock Lady, and when she described this cardigan, it was just perfect for me. Because she's like, it's the go-to cardigan that you don't care if you ruin it because you're wearing it inside the house because you're using this yarn. And it's big twist tweed. Acrylic. And I got the navy colorway. I also got it in the purple and the green. I don't know what the actual names of them are. But I just loved how soft this yarn was. And I liked the idea of just being able to wear this. Like when I go pick up the kids from school, because I'm always picking them up. I could just throw this on and go. The only thing was I didn't realize this was herringbone. Oh my God, this yarn is everywhere, this thing. Look how massive this cake is. But it's half herringbone, the stitch. I thought it was a different stitch. So I think I might knit up in the amethyst colorway, or the purple or whatever it is. I'm going to make my own sweater. But I'm definitely going to use this yarn. And I'm going to use it in the stitch I thought it was. I do like the half herringbone. It's a lot of fun. No, half fisherman's rib. It's half fisherman's ribs. That's what it is. I am enjoying it. It's a lot of fun to knit. The only thing I hate is this collar, which I like the actual collar, just not the way she has it written. This is a lot, the sweater. But basically, you're using a smaller size needle to knit the collar. So you're going down here. So you've got 2 different needles hooked up. I did try, like she had the circulars. She was using short circulars to do it. It was driving me crazy. So the DPNs worked better for me. And it's just annoying because it gets caught when you're moving it because you got this extra needle here. Where if it was the same needle size, it wouldn't be as annoying. You could just go through. I feel like this is making it very clumsy. And I do like that it looks smaller than the actual stitches because it's 2 sizes lower. I mean, this is a US 7 and this is a US 9. And oh, I got these from Yarnable this year for the October. I'll show you the rest of it, but all these cute little stoppers they gave me. So I had to put it on this cardigan. See? But it's very clumsy feeling when you're knitting this. I'm not enjoying that part. I do love the idea of not having to pick up stitches on a cardigan for the collar. That makes me very happy. I know with the Anchors cardigan, it was the same kind of thing. So I think I'm going to do that again in the sweater I'm going to design because I love not having to pick up stitches. In fact, I think I have another idea for a second cardigan to make this like an actual pattern on here. Yeah, I think I see a lot of cardigans out of this. As I said, I bought 3 different colors of it. But I think this is going to be really squishy. Like, look at that. Just, it's wonderful. And I can't wait. I did separate for the sleeves. I think I have to go to 9 inches underneath the sleeve, and then I start doing ribbing. I'm not too sure, but I am getting there. Again, this would be knit so much faster if I didn't have to keep track of the buttonholes and this needle being in the way constantly. And I will not bring this out with me to knit, because I did one time. I was terrified of losing the needle, especially because Signature has gone out of business. So I do not want to lose these needles, but I am enjoying using them for this because the point in them are amazing. It's easy to pick up the stitches and not to pick up the stitches, but to just knit because it's so nice and sharp. But this is a mess now. It's like an absolute mess, but it is looking beautiful. Am I in, where's the outside? Okay, this is the right side. So this is going to be great for pickup and just when you're cold in the house, just to throw this on and I don't have to worry about the kids ruining it on me. That I love. I don't like wearing my hand knits in the house because I'm always terrified of someone spilling something on me. So that's another reason why I think I didn't make too many of these sweaters, also because I'm heavy and I was always scared to do all the work and then it doesn't fit me. So that's the thing I was really terrified about, but oh, I love it. And then I've got another sweater I am knitting, and this is in my Jolie Locatelli bag. Jolie Co bag. Her company's called Rose Gold. And this is my, I'm not saying this, Folia from Isabella Kramer. I am using Knit Picks Treasures. Unfortunately, they have discontinued this colorway. I am devastated. I hope to God I have enough yarn for this. It's Sport Weight Cherry Blossom Heather, and it is all baby alpaca. I am very, very upset they discontinued this colorway. They did come out with other ones. I don't know what Knit Picks has against mauve all of a sudden. They have discontinued every mauve color practically. I know Comfy and DK Gloss, which was my go-to colorway, they have discontinued. I did not know this. Not that I had money, but I couldn't even buy any to knit this. And then they got rid of Sailor Dishy. That was not mauve though. That was like this beautiful light blue and yellow. It was such a pretty combination. I was crocheting placemats for that. I can only make 4 now because I did not have enough yarn. I'm very, very upset about that, but that's a whole nother thing. But this is what I have done so far in this. All right, this is the last time you saw it. I'm almost at the ribbing. I am very excited. I love the lace in this. I want to do more sweaters with lace at the top. And then this has it on the sleeve as well, which I love. And this is such an easy to memorize lace pattern. So it's perfect. You don't have to worry about trying to remember where you were in it. I'm very excited about wearing this. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is I see the fuzziness of it. I'm wondering if I'm going to feel very in the sleeves because my arms are always so tight, if I'm going to be claustrophobic in it or not. I'm hoping not because I know I don't like tight sleeves. That's again why I'm having problems with this thing. But I did, I fooled around with this basically. This is in so many sizes. I got issues. So I think I start out with 42-inch bust. And then I ended up going up to the next size when I got to here, like the bottom. I went up one size when I got to the bottom of it. But the arms, I went up to 2 sizes bigger. Yeah. I think I wrote all my project notes. There's 3 sizes here for this thing. But then I actually had this originally for 4 sizes bigger than the top. And then I put it on and it looked really, really big. So I thought that was a little too much. So I ended up ripping back this whole thing and re-knitting the sleeve to make it just go a little bit smaller. Because I felt like the sleeve was going down to here. And again, that might be another problem I'm having with this, that it's like all the way down here. And it was an annoying feeling. I think I like having it like stop up here more so. The yoke. So we will see what happens. But I tried it on. Again, the sleeves are not knit, but the body is perfect on me. It's wonderful. And I think I did add like 2 more stitches over here. And it has this beautiful little like seam over here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Originally, I wasn't going to knit it, and I was like, I'll just do it. I love it. I actually really like it. You know, and I got to remember to do, I think one time I forgot because I haven't knit on it for a while, and I was like, oh, let me pick it up. But I am enjoying this, and I can't wait to have it finished and wear it. I'm only a little nervous about the yarn. I have 4 left. No, 5 left. So I'm going to use 1 more for the body, I think. And hope to God it's the right length. And then I will have the sleeves. I'm not going to cast off, maybe. Let me see how. Maybe I'll just finish that. Then leave it on the needles. Do the knit the sleeves up. And see how much the sleeves use. And if I need to make this longer, then I could. I think that's the best bet because I'm at the end of this. But again, it might be close to where I have to start. I have to look at it. I haven't knit on this for a while. I've been obsessed with finishing these blankets. I had so many whips going on. It got a little insane. And my husband's been yelling at me I need to get rid of these things because he wants to put the Christmas tree where I have all my whips and the baskets. If not, they might be going in my bedroom for Christmas because I don't know what to do. It's not happening. I mean, I am making a big chunk, like the big projects I'm knitting on, I'm getting rid of. Anything I cast on this year has been finished. I have not been just casting on more things, just letting them sit. So I'm very proud of myself on that. I am finishing everything I'm casting on. But I started out the year with 42 or 43 whips. I am now down to 36, I think it is. So it's still a lot. I don't think I have too much more for the rest of the year to knit for actual work. So I just cast like everything. I just focus on trying to get rid of everything. I did forget something. Shoot. It's over there. Oh, maybe I'll get it later. We'll see how long this episode's going to be. I just realized it. All right. So then I finished my Flight to Neverland shawl. It's by Holly Dye Works, her pattern. And the yarn is her Flight to Neverland knit kit. I think the main colorway is Flight to Neverland too. Something Neverland. Oh no, Second Star to the Right. Second Star to the Right. That's what this colorway is. It's gorgeous. And I did the exact way she has. I fell in love with it. Only problem, I ran out of yarn on the bottom. I was really upset. I think I needed 2 more garter rows. And I only got 4 ridges. I think you're supposed to have 6 ridges. But I was like, I don't have money to go buy another one right now. I'm just like, I want this off the needles. I still have to block it and obviously sew in the ends. But I did enjoy knitting this. This is a really fun shawl to do. It was great because I was knitting this at the pool every day when we went during the summer. So I highly recommend it. And I just love this part especially. Look how pretty that is. I love that it's neon. I never wear neon. So this is a really exciting thing to finish for me. Something a little bit different. And hopefully I will have this blocked soon. I am horrible at blocking things. I have also finished another sweater. And I'm really excited about this. I'm excited about everything. I'm so happy. I finished my Stillness Drop sweater by Alicia Plummer. I have not blocked this either, but I just finished this last week in my defense. So this is the front and this is the back. I have learned not to sew in the ends until after I block it because I was sewing in the ends originally and then I would see after it blocked, you could see where the ends were sewn in and it was aggravating me. I forgot my campsite cardi, I think that's what it was, and it always drove me crazy where the end started. I also try to make the end start and stop where the sleeve is so it's hidden a little bit where it's supposed to the back or the front. You can see it. It's more prominent. That's a little tip I did. But I love this. It's a worsted weight yarn. It is Malabrigo Rios Lilia. Oh, Lila. My screen is broken. My son dropped this a couple of years ago and I'm using it. It's hard to read. But this, it's so nice against the skin. It's a little bit cooling feeling, so you're not feeling like it's heavy from the worsted weight yarn. It's wonderful. Oh, I still need to get rid of the stitch markers for the sleeves. What I did was, as I knit the sleeve, every 10 rows, I would put one of these on there. Then when I knit the second sleeve, I would take it from one sleeve and put it on here, so I knew when to stop for the sleeve. Because I am renownedly known for messing up my sleeves, making them way too long. So I keep trying them on while I'm knitting it so it's not too long. And I know when they block, it usually adds an extra 1 or 2 inches. So I try to stop right here. Like, so this one, it stopped at the right spot and everything. Originally, I think it was longer, and I ended up taking it apart after I blocked it and re-knit the cuff. And now it's like perfect. I always put my sleeves like this. So I'm very happy with where this is. And I'm sure it'll get longer when I block it, as usual. But I'm going to be living in this. I love it. This is like one of my favorite stitches. In fact, this is the stitch I want to make a cardigan out of. That's what I thought this was. I don't know. I got so excited when I saw she used this, because I'm always using it in my sock designs. So the whole sweater in this stitch, oh my God, it's going to feel so nice. Maybe I'll even make an entire regular sweater like that, because I just love it. It's such a nice little texture to it, as opposed to regular ribbing. So that is the end of this. I know, I love everything mauve. I also finished my Follow Your Path socks from Crazy Sock Lady. This is from Kiani Hand-Dyed Yarns, Riding the Crest. And that's Molly Girls Diva's Lament. It's a little hard to see the pattern, but it's a lot of fun. It's very bright. I don't know, I was in a neon mood this summer, let me tell you. So I love that the speckles matched this. I got so excited when I found the yarn that matched it exactly. I love this. And I also am knitting, I think that's all my FOs. But now this one, another blanket. I needed a baby blanket for my husband's cousin. And unfortunately, I did not go to the baby shower because my son is on baseball and I would miss the baseball game. And I was just like, I'd rather go see the baseball game than go to a shower right now. And also, I didn't finish the blanket. Well, I would have had the blanket finished. I could have had it finished in time. But then when I decided not to go to the shower, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my time. I love knitting this. I have designed this. It's such a great calming thing to do at nighttime. I am definitely going to make a lot more blankets in this. I'm calling this the Hudson Valley blanket. This is the baby version of it. I'm using 3 skeins of the, what is it called? Big Twist Heather Gray. And basically what I originally was going to use, which is now going to be my blanket, if I can find the yarn, it is Karen's Cinnamon Swirl Cakes. I originally had it in this. It was working up beautifully in it. I was a little nervous because I was afraid of, because there's a lot of purling on it, if it was going to look a little bumpy, but it looked so beautiful. But then when I would look underneath the light, we don't know if it's a boy or girl. See, in here it looks neutral. In the light, this looked pink and this looked purple at nighttime. And I kept looking at this and I'm like, if they are having a boy, they are never going to use this. The parents might use it, but the kid is never going to use this because it keeps coming up pink. But see how it's in the picture right now? That's how I wanted it, because she has everything in grays and neutral. So I thought this was like the perfect colorway. But in certain lights, it's very pink and very purpley. I don't know. So now it is my thing. So I did get this part done. I'm making it ginormous like the other blankets. I love ginormous blankets. So I did the seed stitch border. The only thing that stinks is, as I said, it worked up so pretty, so perfectly when I did it before. It was perfect. Every 2 lines is when the pattern changes. So it worked up just like that. So when I did this, I realized if I just left the yarn knitting like it was supposed to be, it wasn't working up right. So I got this whole yarn barf situation going on because I didn't want to cut the yarn yet to make sure it is working up the way I think it's going to work up now. So I did cut out one color completely So it would, no, not completely. It's a little bit at the end somewhere. Yeah, I think, and then I stopped it and then I started the next color. So it would work with the pattern. I'm going to see if it's right. If it's not, it's not. I don't know if I would rip it back. I don't know how OCD I am about this. Again, it's just a blanket for my living room. I mean, I am going to use it in pictures for the pattern when I write up the pattern for this. But this is going to be like the adult size throw. And then this one is the baby blanket size throw. This should like fit the whole entire crib. But it is so relaxing knitting this at night. And I know my actual cousin is having a grandson. I think they said it was a boy. So I am going to knit this a third time for a baby blanket. Again, I'm going to see if I can get some blues for that. I can't do the whole neutral thing. It's just not my cup of tea. I do like the gray though. But when I was looking at her baby registry, I was like, this is so boring. It's all gray. It's like there's no color whatsoever. I hope she buys some color after the baby's born, because I would just be like, oh my God, I need something. Like all my walls are like colors. I have no white walls. I mean, they're pastels, but I just don't like plain white, plain gray. You know, I'm just not that type of person. So that was driving me a little cuckoo. And I was like, okay, that's why I like that yarn. But what are you going to do? Upside down, I got a blanket. I only have 4 skeins of that. This is 3 skeins. They have the same yardage. I think actually that one has a little bit more yardage in it. So I'm thinking maybe I just need 1 or 2 more skeins to get that big of a blanket done. I do want to one day knit a whole blanket though for a bed. I don't know how long that's going to take me and how much room it's going to take in the house. Right now I have this stored in my dining room and my husband wants to choke me between these 2 blankets just sitting there because I have no place to put them. And he's like, will you please finish these blankets up? Which I finished this one, so it's good. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, my next thing. So what I was in debate on doing was getting my original Advent. Maybe I will get it. Yeah, I think I'm going to go get it. Give me 1 minute. I knew I was going to forget something. This is just a big mess. Okay. Okay. Oh my God. All right. I am just making a big giant mess over here. Okay. So my original Advent design is going to be called Winter's Nights. This was it. And instead of, for my sample, over here, it would be like day 3. So where the teal is, it would have been day 3. You change color again. I decided to use one solid color with all the minis. So I'm using a 12-day mini calendar from Dragon Horde Yarns. The green is, again, Deep Calm. I told you I'm obsessed with it. On her Blitz base from Full and Vine Yarns. It came out beautiful. It looks beautiful. Only problem I'm having is that I'm running out of minis. I'm using up a lot of the minis. So I know when I got to a certain point, I would not be able to keep this repetition going. And it was aggravating me that I couldn't because it was so pretty. So this is just going to be a regular shawl now. And I'm going to call it Winter's Nights. So that is what that's going to be. I might finish this one in these colors. I don't know. Again, I don't know how many. Oh, no. You know why also I stopped doing it? I do have to take it apart. Anyways, I was increasing by only 2 stitches because if it's an Advent design, I wanted to make it wider. Apparently in a circular shawl, doing 2 stitches, it gets wonky looking. It's like pointed up here because you're only doing 2 stitches at a time. It's not working out right. That's why they always do 4 stitches. I found that out. And that was aggravating me. And I'm like, as I said, I'm running out of yarn already with only 2 stitches. So if I had to increase 4 stitches each thing, and this is like a long repeat of the colorway, I would have to change it soon. And I really liked how this was working up. So I was just like, no. I'm not using this as an Advent pattern. It's going to be a regular shawl pattern now. I don't know if I'm going to use the same colors or not. Or maybe I'll knit it twice. I don't know. I know the scrappy one I was originally knitting, I ripped apart already. Because it's just, this is not an Advent pattern. this yarn might be used in a cowl advent pattern for 12 days. I don't know. Again, I might use it in that shawl. We will see what happens. But this is now my new advent pattern. Oh, I'm in the middle of a row. Of course I am. Why would I not be? I don't have a name for this yet. I'm still thinking. But this is with Dogwood and Dandelion advent calendar from last year. It's all rose colors. So now I'm going to be getting to the reds. So it's like this yellows and creamy oranges. Then it got to like these bright kind of fuchsias. Then we got this darker orange, and my OCD was kicking in. Oh my God. It's this colorway right here. It looks like a darker one of this. So when I was doing it in the order she gave us, I think only moved one colorway in between because it just made no sense. And then I'm knitting this, and then when I came to this one, I'm like, that should have been up here. That's wrong. Then I was like, I'm going to rip it apart. And I'm like, I don't want to rip it apart. And I kept going back and forth. Should I or shouldn't I rip it apart? Then I started playing with all the colorways and moving everything around. I did decide, because this has a cherry in it, it does go with this. But again, I don't think that this was next to it maybe. I moved it next to it. I don't know. It's funny because when I do these patterns, it's the colors that kill me, not the actual pattern, me trying to figure out what color to do next. My OCD kicks in and then I'm in trouble. And I have the other 8 colorways sitting on my buffet, just laying there. And I'm like, don't touch them. I tell everyone, do not go near it. That's the order I need in. Do not mess with it. And then every so often, because there's one colorway, I think it suddenly turns to purple just for 2 colors. And it doesn't match anything else. And I'm like, why? Where does this go? And then these 2, I was going crazy trying to figure out where to put them. But so far, I'm liking how this is progressing. And I think this is going to go into like a little bit of a darker red. Then it's going to go into purple. And then it's going to be in the dark, dark red. I am loving how it's coming up, though. But I loved these colorways next to each other. This one is, I want a shawl in this right here. In these, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors right here. I love when it's this light yellow next to a peach color. I think it's gorgeous. And it's very hard to find that combination. I think I found a mini one time. And it was of this random dyer someone gave me. I couldn't get the yarn ever again. So when she came out with this, I was so excited when I opened the first couple of colorways to this advent calendar. I thought it was gorgeous. And I can't wait to put them on my scrappy blankets too, because it just makes me happy, these colors. So pretty. I love peach, and I like a creamy yellow. So that is going to be the advent pattern. If you have any suggestions on names, please put them in the down bar. I am all named out apparently for advent patterns. I don't know. But I'm very excited about this. And oh no, one more thing. My Plateau Socks that I am designing. It is in a Molly Klein Designs bag of Hocus Pocus. And I finished one sock. If I could find it in this insane mess I have from all these blankets. Do I have it over here? Oh, don't tell me this. I have to send it to All in Yarns too. Is it in? Oh, it's in here. Okay. Found it. It is in here. Let me show you. So this is the Plateau Socks I have designed with All in Yarns. It is in her Vagabond base. I love the name of this. It's called Land That Time Forgot. I want to use some of this, maybe with some green in another sock pattern and name it that. That's such a pretty name. I didn't notice it when I named these socks and I came up with this pattern because the plateaus, so there's like little plateaus over here. And I remember her telling me it was about the mountains and everything. So I figured that was like part of the plateau on top of a mountain. And that's why I named this. And then I read that. I was like, oh, I like that name. So I'm going to have to use it one day. And this is really interesting because it's superwash merino wool, some yak in it. I think it's 20% yak and 10% nylon. So that's why it's got this beautiful earthy type of colorway with it. I am going blind, let me tell you. I have tired eyes. I don't know if you can see they droop a little bit. But when I'm reading, after I read for a while, I get blurry. And the doctor was like, you have 20/20 vision. You just have tired eyes. Just use glasses when you read to let them rest. He did not tell me by using that I would be ruining my eyes. I cannot read anymore without glasses. I am so furious at him. It's not even funny. And then I guess I'm like, I don't know if I'm punishing myself or not by not using the glasses when I'm reading. I'm trying to strengthen my eyes back to what they were. They're still working well. It's just I can't see fine detail and I can't see dark, small print, like a watch face I can't see anymore. I'm like, I got to put glasses on every time I look at a watch or a menu or something. I think that's ridiculous, especially when your eyes were fine before he did this. And then my other problem is I'm afraid I'm going to ruin my eyes because I'm wearing glasses and I have a habit of forgetting I have stuff on me. And I'm just like walking around the house with the glasses on because it's such a low prescription. It's the lowest one you can have. I think it's 1.0. And I'm just walking and I'm like, oh God, I've got the glasses. I have to take it off. Or if I'm knitting here and I'm looking at TV, I'm just like, so I refuse to wear them when I'm knitting because I'm afraid because I keep looking up that I'm going to ruin them. So it was like, it's hard to see stuff. See the detail on it. It's coming up. I'm so happy when it's on the block. I think you can see the detail of it. This is gonna be a great textured sock. I was nervous when I was first knitting. I was like, I'm not seeing the texture that much. And then when you put it on, it's like, you see it. Very exciting. Okay, so that is it for the actual knitting content. I do have yarnables to show you because again, everything that's been going on, I have not, with the kids starting school, my husband being home, I have not had a chance to record. Now that he's back at work, I will be able to record on a every 2 weeks schedule, I'm hoping. So, because it's very weird being alone in the house, let me tell you. It was funny because everyone's like, oh, you're going to finally alone. I'm like, no, my husband's still here. And he's driving me crazy more than the kids do. So now he's finally gone. I kept saying, I'm afraid something bad's gonna happen, someone's gonna knock on the door or something. Like, I was just like, it's too quiet for me because I haven't been alone in 10 years since I've had Nikki. And as soon as Nikki went to school, that's when I had Justin. So I have not been alone in the house. I mean, my mother's downstairs, but she's downstairs. She's not bothering me constantly. So it is a weird, weird feeling. This is the yarnable that we had for October. So it came with these stitch markers. And the colorway is Sorcerer's Secret and Spellbound. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I get the one that has the 50 gram yarn and then the full 100 gram yarn. Last few of them have come. They're so beautiful. Oh, this is beautiful too. I love this. I don't know if I would do a shawl in this. I buy these for shawls. I do not buy these for socks. But I don't know. It might be a pretty sock. But then again, I love this yarn so much. I kind of want to do a shawl. I wonder if I would wear it because it's so, I don't know. Maybe I'll save this for next Halloween and like figure out, maybe I'll design something with that, or Helen Stewart will come out something I can knit it with. But it is gorgeous. Like, I love the yarnable thing because I get yarns that I wouldn't normally buy, and I haven't been buying anything. This is like a gift for my mom for my birthday because I take care of her and everything. So she's bought this for me for the whole year, and it's perfect because I don't have money to go buy anything, and then I get this, so it's something I wouldn't normally gravitate to. And so far I've loved everything that has come with it, and it's coming up. When I see them, sometimes I get these design ideas from it because I wouldn't think of getting these color yarns at all. Like, I would probably just walk past this and not get it. And now that I have it, I love it. So, and it's so plush soft. Oh my gosh. Then it came with my favorite tea in the whole entire world, Plum Deluxe. This is the Halloween blend. It's apple bits, a mix of vanilla essence. Don't laugh at me that I'm doing this from far away because that's how I can read. And it's a black tea and robust tea. So get a little sample of that. Came this cute little organza pouch. And did it come with anything else on this one? This is the September one. Oh yeah. No, that was the stitch markers. She's really nice, Cheryl, too, because when she gives you something, like, it was like an incentive for people to start subscribing to her Yarnable box. It's not open all the time. So she had it open. She has a special present like once or twice a year that if you join the Yarnables, you get an extra little present. So the stitch markers were the extra little present, and then she gives it to you in the Yarnable box, so everyone gets it. It's not just the people just subscribing to it. So you got extra stuff. So then I also got this black fur pom-pom, cookie cutters, and then this is really cute. This might be right up my alley because I have not done any needlepoint in so long. Again, I'm probably going to have to use glasses for it. Stupid doctor. And this is the Kawani cross stitch. It's going to do a little pumpkin. So it's such a cute little kit. Look how little this is. I am not one to crochet stuffed animals or anything, so I think this might be right up my alley. It's very small. I might finish it because it's so small. I should finish it. I mean, look how little that is. And it would be nice to have an actual finished cross stitch because I think I have three cross stitches on, I guess you call the canvas now. I don't know what you call it. 3 cross stitches on the canvas. And then one of which I lost the actual kit to. I'm hoping it's in the garage. It's the Thomas Kincaid. It's so old. It was years ago when I was in college I was doing it. I lost the actual yarn for it. And I have one of a Japanese kimono, which I love, anything oriental. I'm like obsessed with it. And I had this little kit from Frosty Pumpkin that was like all animals in it. So I loved that. But I just never finished them. And every month you would get a new one for the animal one from Frosty Pumpkin. And then I have a Kleenex container, which is hysterical because either I lose the pattern or I lose the yarn. And then I find one of the two and I'm like, I'm going to finish it. And then I can't find the other one. It's like a running joke at this point. I think it's at least 7 years old. I don't think I'm ever going to finish it, but this might get finished. So we will see. And then the September Yarnable was this is Anne of Green Gables vibes for me. It just screams Anne. So this is Mossy Hollow and Rustic Revere. And then I got in it I think this is a book. Yeah, this is a magnetic bookmark. It's not hooking if it's yarn. Just one more row. So it's a cute little post-it thing. And then, oh, I could have used this the other day. I needed something like that. They're page flags. I didn't realize I had them. Aren't they cute, the little animals? I needed that. What was it I was using that I wanted to put something in there? It was one of my books. I don't know. Had something in. Oh, it was my magical book. That's what it was. They had some interesting things about crystals and all that. I wanted to flag it. I think I ended up folding the page. And does it tell you who did this? These are all from Girl All Work, I think. Girl of Work. Is that real? That's it. Comes with this little thing. It tells you all this information on what's in each box. So that is all I have on the Yarny content. And let me stop this and start with the other one. Okay. Okay, so I am going to now talk about the Cozy Mysteries, and I've got a lot of them. So the one I'm reading right now is Wish Upon a Star. It is by Angela M. Sanders, and it is a Which Way Librarian mystery. I read last October the first 3 in this series. It is an awesome series. Basically, she moves to this town, and she doesn't realize she's a witch, and the grandmother put like a barrier spell on her. So if she didn't move past the Rockies, she had no magic. She went past the Rockies on a plane, and all of a sudden she got magic, and she talks to books. So the books tell her all these secrets, and she solves the crimes with that. This one is cool because you meet the sister, and the sister finds out she's a witch, and she's part of this like self-help group thing that they have, like a convention going on, and she goes there, and it kind of sounds like they're scamming them, you know, like they're saying, oh, I'm going to self-help. We're going to teach you how to become someone to help people and everything. You spent a lot of money for this convention. So the sister's already like, you're getting ripped off. And she's very naive, the one that's visiting. So then, of course, a murder happens. Actually, a couple murders have happened in it. So it's interesting to see the sister reacting that she's a witch and everything, and her outside world before she became a witch come into her new life that she's made for herself. I also love how they have a cafe in the book, and they're all talking about all this stuff that they are like, it's like the main hub of the community is this cafe, and it closed in a couple books again, so they were all going to the library. So now the main cafe opened again, and it's just all the characters are all just hanging out, kind of like Luke's Cafe in Stars Hollow. So it's kind of fun to watch everyone interact with each other. They got a crazy knitting group in this that they don't do any knitting, but they come to complain, and they hang out in the library a lot. So I think they just come to hang out as opposed to actually knit. So I enjoy this a lot. This was the book that I wanted the book pages for, because it had a lot of interesting things in here about crystals and different type of witchcraft. Oh God, I forgot what else. It was just really, really interesting stuff in here. Different types of plants that do different types of things. And oh, that's what it was. You know when you hear double, toil and trouble, foxbird, you know, all that crazy stuff? So it actually told you what the plant was when they're talking about, like, frogs. Let me look it up. I'm sorry about that. Let me look this up. Because I read this a couple of weeks ago. I have a really bad memory, but I did do a book report on it. Or not book report, a review on it. So it's Murder in a Cup. She told you about, like, the reason why the healers used code names for plants was because back in the day, they were healing people and they weren't supposed to be healing people. So then if you said, like, it was foxtail is this, then the people could just go and get them and heal themselves. So the healers would be able to make money by using these crazy things. Plus it would sound more mystical. So the one that was, come on, where is it? Oh, Eye of Newt is the old world term for mustard seed. How cool is that? And Toe of Frog is buttercup. Wool of Bat is holly leaves. Like, I found that so fascinating. And lemongrass lowers cholesterol. So it was like all this stuff, and they had a lot about crystals in here. And I was just enjoying this so much. It is Murder in a Cup by Laura Elliott. It's the second in the series of a crystal and chaos tea mysteries. I love this series. I cannot put this down. I read it in 2 days. And lately I've been having problems like focusing on anything. So just that I was able to read it so fast was amazing. I enjoyed it. I learned so much from it. And the book is about, I'll tell you the whole series. Basic background for the series is this girl, she moves back to live with her twin sister in the city, and she ends up inheriting this crystal shop. And she's like, what am I going to do with this? I'm not a witch or anything. And she ends up making it into a tea shop, and they have, like, on the top, they have a greenhouse of all these herbs and everything. Then she finds out she's a witch, and that the woman who owned the shop was her biological mother. She gave her up because this guy is her father, actually, that's who it was. Her father impregnated her mother, and then he tried to kill her because they have this crystal that only this family can use, and he wants the power by taking the crystal away from her. So she had to run and hide from her family, and they're old world, I think they're Scottish. And it was really interesting that she had to run away and move to this country, and she had to give the baby up so that the guy wouldn't find her. But she stayed in the same town so she could see where the baby grew up and everything. So when she was murdered, she had a premonition she was going to be murdered, and she left it to her. So this is the second book now. And what was really interesting in this one was that the hot guy that owns the pub next door, he's from Scotland. or Ireland. I forgot which one it is. I think it's Scotland though. And they're from old world. They call it the fair, the fairies and everything. They call them the fairy people. And the grandmother actually knew her mother and the mother's mother. So it was interesting. She came in and she's like, I'm needed here. Let me help you. So it was a nice thing with the characters. And also I think she's going to end up with the barkeep. I really do. I hope they do, because it's really cute, the two of them together. But I really loved the banter in it. I just enjoyed it so much. I highly recommend this. Again, it's Murder in a Cup by Laura Elliot. Then this is another series I like a lot. It's a sewing studio by Dorothy Howell, Hanging by a Thread. This one is cute. They, the sub-characters are a little odd in it, I would say, because they're kind of like mindless, because, or they're neurotic, like they say like rational, like the murder happened, she's like, we all have to get guns, we all have to get guns. I'm like, who thinks like that? You have to get a gun to protect you. If there's a murder around, that's going to end up being more murders, in my opinion. And then she was trying to convince everyone to get guns. And this is like a sub-character. It's not the main character. And like, she can't think, this woman. And then the main character was like, what are you doing? Like, really? And then there was another. So the woman that owned the bakery was murdered. And the bakery was going to be competition for her aunt. So her aunt's up for getting and charged for murder, which everyone knows the aunt didn't do it. So then they had a second thing in the toy shop. There was these expensive dolls and they were being stolen. So out of nowhere, the woman comes up to her like, you need to solve this crime. Like, why does she need to solve the crime? Who is she? Like, why is she? She's new in the town. Like, why are you going up? Like, you can't think for yourself? And she does solve it, but it's just like, why? So there's a lot of stuff like that. The little sub characters I don't like, but I do like the main characters a lot. And I like the story. And then she makes these beautiful tote bags, which I find, I don't sew. So I find it very interesting. And like these dresses are all made out of pillowcases they do for a charity thing. So I found that very interesting in the book. The actual plot is very good. But so the sub-characters, but I do enjoy this series and I recommend it. Now, sorry, it's a lot of books, I know. And then I read A Killer Plot by Ellery Adams. This was the first in a book by the Bay Mysteries. Main character I was not crazy about. She kind of reminded me about Rachel Lynde, but she's not Rachel Lynde. Like, she's not old like Rachel Lynde. But when I'm reading this, that's the vibe I got. So I think it was screwing with my mind a lot because I'm reading it and I'm like, this woman's old. And then all of a sudden they're saying she's like in her early 40s. And you're like, she's not old. And she was very brash and brusque. She's like, to everyone. And she just comes in and she's very rich. And she used to live in this thing. She was an abused child. And her parents died tragically. And the father used to abuse her and everything. So she's coming to terms with all that, moving into this thing. And then they convince her to use her property because she has this famous restaurant she opened up. She has a lot of money now that they said you should use some money towards the community. And it was weird in the first chapter. I couldn't get into it because there was these two women talking in the supermarket and they're talking and you thought one of them was the main character. No, they're talking about the main character. And then also the main character comes and she like squashes their food with the dog food bag. I said, I'm paying for that. And she scares them out of their mind because of that. She came out of nowhere. And then you find out she's the main character. So it was a little confusing in the beginning. But in the Cozy Mystery Book Club, that was the book read, I think it was for September. They told me more about the series. And I'm very interested in finding out what happens. The characters, she didn't get on my nerves like that. I would never read this book again. It's not one of my favorite series. But I do love Ellery Adams. Her other series I like a lot better, like the pie shop ones. Unfortunately, she's not writing anymore, but they have witches. I love witches. I really love witches. And then she has the Book Retreat Mysteries, which is like a secret society. So I do enjoy those a lot better than this one, but I will read this whole series. Then another book is A Killer Romance. I was actually a little upset about this. This is by Jackie Blackburn. It's they don't tell you what the book series is. I think it's the Seaside Mysteries. Oh no, wait, a Book Reads Mystery. So that's that one. I was disappointed in this one a lot. The first two were amazing in the series. This one, she breaks her... No, did she break her leg or her ankle? She did something to her ankle. I don't think it's broken. I think it was sprained. She can't move. So through the whole book, all you hear her talking about is, oh, my ankle hurts. Oh, this hurts. Oh, this is horrible. Oh, this... And it's like, can we get on with the story? It's every other page she talks about, I'm in pain with my ankle. I can't do this. I have to do... I'm like, people break their legs. You know, like, they do stuff. Like, she can't do anything. She can't function because she broke her leg. Or not even broke it. She sprained it. So it's only for like a month maybe on crutches. It wasn't even that big a deal. But it's constantly in there. So it's very distracting for the series. So I wasn't too happy. Plus, they didn't have too much of the aunt and the cousin in it. It was really just focused on her. It was kind of like a Rear Window type of situation. But she didn't see the thing happen. Oh, she was watching the video at her bookshop when the person died. So it was... I couldn't get into it. The first two in the series, I highly recommend this one. And I was very upset because it took about 3 years for them to come out with this book because of COVID. So I was really excited about this. And they do talk about COVID in the book and everything. But it was just let down from the first two in the series. And it's funny because I think that's the covers for the first two. So that's pretty cool that they're in the actual book. I like that. So then, oh, this one was really good. I'm reading all witch stuff this month. This is by Tara Lush. It's a new series. Go get it. It's amazing. It's called Eat, Pray, Hex, a Crescent Moon Mystery. This was really cool because she talks about a new, not new, but she actually uses the terminology about the type of power she has. So when you touch something and you get like a premonition from it, she actually calls it by the term, which they don't really focus too much on the meaning. I know in Charmed they did it, but they never said what it was called. Let me see where I put my... Of course, I'm not going to find it on here. I'm sorry. Here we go. Where my review on this one. I got lucky. She sent me a advanced copy of it. What is it called? Psychochrometry. Psychochrometry, I think it is called. It was really interesting. She really dove into the subject and you learned a lot about it. She basically inherited from her estranged aunt this hotel, and she goes there and there's a ghost in the hotel that is angry, and the aunt was trying to get rid of it before she found out she was dying of an illness. So she wasn't murdered or anything, but this murder happened in the 1950s and was a teenage boy. So she had to vanish. Get the spirit, I'm sorry, I'm not doing well, but get the spirit out of the hotel. So she had to learn about her abilities, come to terms with getting these new abilities, learn how to use them. She made a whole bunch of friends. This was a really cool town too, because it's basically like a spiritual hubbub in America, down in this place in Florida. And anyone that has magic or just came into magic, they automatically want to go there. So like this one woman, she wants her magical abilities so badly, and she's a cowgirl. So she calls, I'm a cowgirl witch. And she does all this crazy stuff with cowgirl terminology. It's really funny. But they have to get rid of the ghost in the relinquishment. I'm not speaking well today at all. But they need to get her out, the ghost out of there, and make him happy and get him out of the hotel so that she can turn around and sell the hotel. Now she decided to stay. Of course, you know how the cozy mysteries are. But it was just interesting learning all about this new thing that they don't really talk about in TV. It's always like powers, like you have premonition, yeah, but it's not from physical objects, that you have to touch the object, and you have the memory stored in an object, and when you touch it, it comes to life. So I thought that was an interesting take on it. Then another book series that I've read, which I have mixed reviews. Okay, this is a bookstore cafe mystery series. I read the first one a while ago. I was not crazy about the main character in it. I felt like she would go in and she'd be like, you have to tell me, did you murder them? You better tell me. And she would ask these straightforward questions. And I was just like, do you have any tact? So that annoyed me, but I liked the actual book. And I wanted to read more of it. So this one is the second one of the series, is Death by Tea by Alex Erickson. And she is toned down in this one. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just the first book. She was acting like that. And I did enjoy this a lot. She has this weird woman that comes into the cafe all the time and drives her crazy. And she had this cardboard of her father, who's a famous author. And she's obsessed with her because her father's the famous author. And she went in the place to steal the cardboard cutout. But she's like, why is this in my work? I feel like he's breathing down my neck with this thing. So she wanted to hide it. And she couldn't get rid of it with the woman there. So she would pretend to steal it. And then it was a murder in the cafe. So she was blamed for it. I didn't like how the love interest that they have set up in it. He's the cop and he's the son of police, the captain's son. And I didn't like how they had it set up that he just like, stay away from me because you're under suspicion. Even though he knew she didn't do it, it was like no compassion, just like crickets. So I didn't like that part of it, but the book was really interesting. I did enjoy it. The third one in the series is Death by Pumpkin Spice. I read that one too. I'm trying to catch up with all the books, and it's funny because they have a lot of books that are from this, then they have a book in between, and then they start Christmas. So I'm reading a lot in the series, and hopefully I'll be able to catch up with some of these series. So this one was Death by Pumpkin Spice, and this one was really interesting because it's like a murder mystery, like Clue. Like they all go to a party in this big mansion, and it's all set up for Halloween and everything, and it's a costume one. And then a murder happens. It's raining really bad, which was really funny that I was reading this while we were having torrential rainstorms over here. So we had flooding and we had to go get the kids home from school. And I'm reading this like, oh my God, how perfect timing is this? And they were stuck in the mansion because they were on top of a hill. They couldn't get out of the mansion because it was raining so bad. And there was only one cop, which again was the love interest. And meanwhile, she's dating someone else now because he's treated her so badly in the last book. But he's asking for her help. Meanwhile, he's always like, get away. Don't help me. Don't help me. Now he's like, I want your help. And I was just like, seriously? But then her attitude is like, he would ask for help. And then he would be like, okay, you're not a cop. You can't do this. She's like, I have to be in the middle of this. I have to do this. And you're like, well, do you really have to do this? Like, why do you think that you are entitled to be doing this? Like, it was a lot. Like, she's like, I have to solve the crime. I have to be in the middle of the thing. And it's like, no, you don't. You're not a cop. You know, there was no Jessica Fletcher kind of finesse. It was just like, blazing bulls, we're in there. So that's a little much. But I do enjoy the actual book. Just that main character drives me cuckoo. She's a lot. And then I read 2 more Krista David books. Murder Most Howl, which is in the Paws and Claws. We read the first one for the Cozy Mystery Book Club. I love this series. I've already read most of the books. I think the last 3 I have not read. So they're doing a reread right now, so I'm rereading it with them. And I am enjoying it immensely. And then the other one is Mission Impossible. I highly recommend this series. I'm trying to remember what the actual storyline was. So this is what the good thing about having a really bad memory is, that you can reread a book, not remember any of it, even though you love it. So it's like you're reading it for the first time and you're obsessed with it. So that's always good. But what was it? Oh, they were having a murder mystery for Murder Most Howl. They're having a murder mystery thing again in the mountains, and it's snowing and everything. And instead of it being like a fake murder, it ended up being a real murder, and they have to solve that. And then the next one, which was Mission Impossible, I don't remember what it was about. Oh, they were doing dating. It was group dating, and they used the dogs to make the matches. It was so cute. I love how this town has all of these dogs just hanging around, and that they're allowed in the cafes, they're allowed in the stores and everything. So now they're making the dogs make the match for the masters. It was so cute. And one of the people, of course, he was against it, and he ended up getting murdered, and they had to figure it out. And they have this really cute little village over there. It's called Hobbit. I know the Shire is from the Hobbit, and it's like there's no lights, there's no electricity, and they have all these little houses. It's just the cutest town ever. I highly recommend that one. And then the last book I read was Double Booked for Death. It's a Black Cat Bookshop mystery by Allie Brandon. I had to read this for the Cozy Mystery Club last month. I didn't think I was going to like it. Again, it actually ended up having witchcraft in it. I'm forgetting like what the actual witchcraft was, but she did end up having some kind of powers, which was really cool. And it's set in New York, and there's a cop there's a woman cop who's retired. They're having a book signing, and she lives in the basement, so she's doing security, and they're having this book signing of this woman who's a vampire writer, like something like Twilight. So Stephanie Meyers type person is doing the book signing, and of course she ends up being murdered, and they have to figure out what it is, because her bookstore is getting like really bad publicity from this, so she has to go crazy trying to figure out who murdered. And then the lights are going on in her house, and there's no one in the house. It's crazy stuff going on. But I did enjoy this. I was in shock I enjoyed it, because I really didn't think I was going to like it. And I will read the rest of the series. So that is all for the mysteries. I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!